Time to get ready. Then head to the Snezhnaya Vecha.
Miss Vodyanitsa, prima donna of the Korolievsky troupe. What a surprise meeting you here. Will you be sitting in on a session of the Vecha?
Sorry, I'm not taking interviews today. Oh good, you're here. The session's about to begin. Let's get inside.
Please wait, Miss Vodyanitsa. Could you introduce me to your new friend?
In summary, the energy management commitments made for the outgoing period have been delivered upon. Furthermore, both the production and consumption of Kresnik Crystal show clear signs of stabilizing. The relevant agencies have assessed the present circumstances and determined that the status quo can be sustained until the next period. For it should also be noted that while the recent blizzards have led to a significant increase in people's energy expenses, this is strictly a short-term phenomenon associated with a remotely located monster. Her Majesty the Tsaritsa is giving her full attention to this matter. We should have every confidence that it will be dealt with swiftly and conclusively. A financial report on disaster relief is also present in this report, courtesy...
They cover the same old ground every single time. There's a general lack of trust. People aren't seeing any tangible benefits that affect them directly.
Yeah, if it weren't for these hard copy documents, I could have at least made something up. Oh, don't mind me. I'm just out here trying to hit my interview quotas. Bring out the kvass. Ever read it? Best-selling newspaper in town.
If I remember correctly, you guys don't even have a sales permit. You have to sell from stalls on the street.
Okay then, best-selling street stall newspaper in town. Still counts.
Order! We will now open the floor to the representatives. If there are no further substantive issues to discuss...
Snezhnaya has a long tradition of treating members of the Fatui armed forces and their dependents favorably. But recent surveys show that Fatui families in remote areas have access to 15% less crystal than the average civilian family in Snezhnograd. It's been said many times before, but it bears repeating now. There needs to be a clear and consistent rationale behind how crystal is allocated, or we will soon face immense public backlash.
Perhaps you wouldn't need to keep repeating yourself if you would hear me out for once. I say again, true consistency exists only in principle. In the real world, fairness is relative. You appear to treat resource allocation as a simple function of production and population. So what about when the equipment used in production breaks down? Have you factored that into your equation? And do you even know how long it's been since Snezhnaya last conducted a census?
If I knew the answers to questions like that, I'm sure I'd be a very wealthy man. And I doubt I'd be going by child. I'd like to bring the focus back to the specific issue I raised. Or do you wish to deny that favorable treatment for Fatui dependents is our long-standing policy?
It's easy to be a critic when there's no accountability. That seems to be a running theme in the anti-Project Stuzha cohort. Defeat the ringleader and all other problems will magically resolve themselves. That's what they seem to think. But in case you aren't aware, not one jot in my report would change whether Project Stuzha continues or not.
So you have no intention whatsoever of finding a solution to this problem?
On the contrary, I'm the only one here who ever brings solutions.
Child opened by speaking up for the armed forces. Regrator struck back with style and a war of words ensued. Our reporter was live on the scene to get the audience's reaction as it all unfolded. Who do you support? The people have spoken! Child received raucous applause from the—
Now you see why they don't have a sales permit.
However this reporter wants to spin things, I haven't forgotten that Tartaglia was representing the Northland Bank when we first met in Liyue. So surely, their relationship can't always have been this strained.
You two are getting off topic. Let's focus on what the data is saying.
Mr. Pantalone, may I speak on your behalf?
Oh, please do. I'm more than happy to save my breath.
Crystal distribution policy undergoes modifications with each new period. The ultimate goal being to find the most reasonable method of allocation, which I believe is what Mr. Tartaglia also seeks. But I fear many may have been misled on this topic by extremist activists. To clarify, Project Stuja is not the root cause of the problem. It is merely a framework for resource distribution. The most recent reports all point to Snezhnaya's resilience and adaptability during this. To make drastic adjustments without first considering the risks would likely do more harm than—
Renowned scholar of finance, Arapov spoke up to clarify the fiscal logic, clearly alluding to social organizations like the Rokot in his words. With the notorious Lelek still active to this day, should the Rokot be held responsible? No, there is someone else to blame.
She's just rephrasing what Mr. Pantalone said. The Rokot are the critics he accuses of taking no responsibility for their actions. As for Lelek, you won't have heard of him yet. He's currently the most famous member of the Rokot. Well, more like infamous. Ending Project Stuja has become an obsession for him. So whether it's threats, coercion, or bribery, he'll use whatever means necessary to get—
And since we're already on the subject, what do you think of Lelek's methods? Are you for or against? Well, whatever the story is, his actions benefit us all. We stand with Lelek.
At least someone here wants to take this discussion seriously. I've been considering that issue myself. What you really need is more precise regional data, right? I think it would be easiest to let the Fatui handle it, since they're already in charge of Crystal shipments anyway. We may as well get them to collect some data while they're at it. Whatever you need, you can ask the Fatui to look into it for you. In terms of supervision, I think the Druzhna would be a good fit. I had hoped to discuss this with Miss Vesna, but sadly, she's not present.
I will be happy to take a note of your suggestions and present them to Commander Vesna for a decision upon her return. The Commander has always taken a keen interest in Project Stuja. However, given the
Let us refrain from jumping to conclusions until a concrete and actionable plan is in place.
My apologies, Lord Rooster.
There are numerous issues to address here, including manpower, time sensitivity, and report. Nevertheless, I support drafting a proposal. Follow the usual procedure, and it can be raised as a new motion for all—
In that case, I'd like to share one thought before the proposal is drafted. The issue of time sensitivity was raised just now, which I presume relates to the official reports. In fact, the Energy Commission already collects regular statistics on each urban center and its surrounding area. Would these be of any use?
That's a good idea. I read every issue of Svietloslaidovka's report, and although my focus is mostly on the section about equipment operation, the energy consumption statistics also yield a lot of insights.
Be that as it may, does no one see an issue with using local data to determine Crystal quotas? In the long term, it seems like a very risky solution.
Not if they are used purely for reference. So long as we have the report from the Northland Bank's headquarters to corroborate it, no one will be able to fool me.
Very well then. It appears that this arrangement is acceptable to all parties.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
The members reached a provisional consensus on the issue of improving treatment for Fatui soldiers. Today, the prima donna of the Korailievsky troupe attended a session of the Snezhnaya in the company of a
Write any anything like that again, and I'm revoking your permission to interview the troupe. Got it?
Now then, if there are no further contributions from those present, we shall proceed to the final vote.
Hey, check it out! What made him vote against? Why now?
The votes have been tallied. Those in favor of continuing Project Snezhnaya total 61%, securing a clear majority.
That was too close. The margin has shrunk yet again. Chuganov was a huge loss.
I'll bet Lelek is behind this. I wonder how Pulcinella will respond this time.
Chuganov. I see. Lelek strikes again.
Yes, go, Lelek. Once Project Snezhnaya is defeated, our unwavering support at Bring Out the Kvass will finally pay off when we make our comeback. I can taste our victory already!
In accordance with the result of this vote, Project Snezhnaya will remain in effect until the next Vecha period. Finally, may I remind us all, we debate only for the greater glory and solidarity of our nation. May the aurora shine ever on, and the tundra always stand firm. The session is concluded.
I have to say, I really wasn't expecting Chuganov to vote against Project Snezhnaya. Well, in principle, Snezhnaya's business and political elites ought to be the ones least likely to oppose it. As we heard, Project Snezhnaya is basically just a resource distribution framework that requires everyone to cut back during the winter. But even if the policy got cancelled, the Tsaritsa's energy needs wouldn't suddenly go down. The extra demand from the public would have to be filled from somewhere. So logically, the factories would have to take the hit. I got a letter from Mr. Mitya just before today's session. He said he's confirmed that there are issues around overtime and excessive energy consumption at the Iskra manufacturer. In a situation like this, once the Rooster receives the report, he'll order the factory to halt production and submit to an investigation before issuing a penalty. But that's a week-long process, and thus didn't make it onto the Vecha agenda this time. Exactly. And as you know, he's a very... I was originally gonna try and flip him after he received notice of the official sanctions. Rather than just sit back and take the hit while his factory stopped production, he'd be better off voting to end Project Snezhnaya. At least that... But no, he's already voted against it. Which means someone must have used more forceful means to change his vote. Yeah, no one knows why Lelek is so obsessed with ending Project Snezhnaya. But by the looks of it, he's inching closer and closer to success.
Lelek must have strong motivations, given how he'll stop at nothing to achieve his goal. Maybe he knows the full truth. Maybe my next step should be to focus on him.
Oh, right. What are your plans for the rest of the day? Shall we head out?
Hey, comrade. I noticed you were here during the debate.
I didn't take you for a political enthusiast.
Greetings, Harbingers. I just happened to have some free time today, and my new friend here thought it might be fun to check out the Vecha.
Ah, Odette must have introduced you. Looks like you two are getting along pretty well.
I'll leave you to catch up. I should head back to the troop.
Sure. Break a leg and all that. Thought it might be fun to check out the Vecha, did you? Things are never that simple with you, Traveler. There's no way you're here for kicks and giggles. Tell me I'm wrong.
Oh, yeah. To some, he's a captivating enigma. To others, he's the bane of their existence. No one ever thought that some anonymous nobody from the Rokot could cause such a stir. Huh? You want to look into Lelek? Then I'm sure his days of anonymity are numbered. What do you think, Sandrone?
Fine by me, I guess. If the Traveler actually manages to expose Lelik, it'll be doing Pulcinella a favor. In return, it seems fair to let him in on what we've learned so far.
My thoughts exactly. Sharing is caring after all. Head back to Glupov and grab the files on Lelik. It's easier to just pull the records than go through the rigmarole of getting the Traveler a visitor's permit.
As you command, child sir.
In that case, since we're going to be waiting anyway, I'll have...
One common thread among the many incidents Lelik has been involved in is that the victims are all too scared to share any real information about him. Clearly, he must have threatened them in some way. His modus operandi is to silently infiltrate the scene and leave a threatening letter behind. But neither the letters nor the crime scenes ever yield any clues to his identity. So all these files have to offer are short statements by the people affected. They don't give us a lot to go on.
If nothing else, it shows we're dealing with a trained professional who's versed in counter-surveillance.
Yes, and to that point, he often strikes in highly secure locations. The victims are high-ranking and influential people who take their personal security very seriously. Somehow, Lelik slips right into their rooms without making a sound. There's never any eyewitnesses, nor the slightest trace of a break-in. If he can get in and out undetected, it means he can strike without warning. Not that that's... It's hard to believe that a human being could pull this off flawlessly every time. So they switched the focus of the investigation to Faye. Unfortunately, no one's found any... Careful, don't underestimate me. Although truth be told, I'd probably find it hard not to blow my cover. Direct confrontation is more my style.
We haven't ruled out the possibility of Lelik being human. It's just... there can only be a handful of people in all of Teyvat who'd fit the profile. Faye, on the other hand, plenty would have the ability, but few would have the motive.
No, not as strong as me. You'll never find the culprit with criteria like that. Let's go with a little weaker than me. There's no denying that Master is strong, but meticulous. We can only hope.
He's just trying to find a reference point. Stop getting fixated on who's stronger than who.
But that's the most important thing. In my opinion, anyway.
Odette. Yeah, that seems about right. Her skills are solid, and
Except she's Fatui, so the likelihood of her working against us is pretty low. But yeah, much more accurate than your previous example, at least.
No, wait a moment. Maybe we should interrogate that assumption.
What do you mean?
Her Fatui identity doesn't necessarily exonerate her. And when you think about it, the Rokot would be precisely what she needs to conceal her identity.
Plus, she wouldn't need to be such a pro at covering her tracks. She'd already know where the Fatui will be and when, so she could choose the perfect time to act. Oh, yikes. I was just thinking out loud. Why is this starting to sound like such a convincing theory? Still, what reason could Odette possibly have for trying to call off Project Stuzha?
Arlecchino would be the best person to ask. She knows Odette best. Rosaline used to open up to her in private about her struggles with Odette. As I'm sure you can imagine, Arlecchino is quite a lot better with children than Rosaline was. She gave her some tips on how to handle the situation, and Rosaline managed to reach a settlement with Odette before leaving. So I suppose there were at least no lifelong regrets left behind. Beyond that, I don't know the details about that side of things. But I do know that Odette definitely has a motive to hold a grudge against. The reason being, her father passed away during the early stages of the project. That was back before it had been named Project Stuzha, when things were still being worked out. But in essence, it's remained the same ever since.
The more you know. Rosaline was always so self-centered. I never understood why she started paying so much attention to Odette. Is that such a surprise? If you cast your mind back, you may remember that Rosaline and I weren't exactly close. We had tea together a few times, but that was about it.
Odette's past is no secret. Her father was a Fatus and her mother was a very famous ballerina. On the surface, it looks like she followed right in her parents' footsteps. But after her father passed away on a mission, her mother was overcome with grief. She broke her leg during a performance and could never dance again. Odette was only interested in ballet at the time, but this tragedy left the family with both breadwinners gone. Per Capitano's policy, family members of Fatui who died in the line of duty had to be appropriately accommodated and provided with adequate assistance. So, regardless of how Rosaline may have felt about it, it fell to her to resolve the issue of Odette's family's livelihood. In the end, the solution they agreed upon was to have Odette join the Fatui.
Right, because the alternative would have been a one-off compensation payment, I guess. In that sense, joining up was definitely the better option. Still, she must have had mixed feelings about it.
It's just a theory, a possibility. But as a motive for Odette to become Lilac, it holds up. That said, I have no idea where Odette's head is at right now, or what her conflict with Rosaline was about. Plenty of people were on bad terms with Rosaline. Yes, but there's not much point in—
Yeah, back to Lilac. Since our investigations so far have turned up next to nothing, we've got nothing to lose by trying a new angle. Funnily enough, Tonya and I had actually made plans to go to the theater tomorrow to watch Odette's rehearsal. Unfortunately, thanks to this Lilac situation, I'll be stuck working overtime again. Which means you can go in my place. No point wasting the—
Spirit Seeker. Quite the classic ballet. It was passed down through Odette's mother's family for generations, though it hasn't been performed in years. But Odette's been practicing it diligently, and it's finally ready for a return to the stage. Excitement is through the roof. Tickets for the official performance sold out long ago.
Tonya's excited for it too. She's desperate to see it no matter what. Personally, it's not really my kind of thing, but since she's my little sister, I had to figure something out.
I've actually seen it several times before. The story's pretty straightforward. The lead character follows a trail of clues left behind by a spirit, gradually recovering her memories along the way. It's a tale of love and regret. So not exactly reinventing the wheel, at least by today's standards. But when that classic melody kicks in and the lead character begins to dance, it always gets me. It really is beautiful. Not an easy dance to do justice to, though. I know it's always been Odette's dream to—
In that case, I think that even if she is Lilac, we should wait until her performance is over before we respond. I'll let you take it from here, comrade.
You made a ton of progress today. It's good that everything's going so smoothly. Next step is to head back to the theater and get a clear answer from Odette. Either way, Paimon doesn't get the sense that she's a bad person. Sure, she might have done some pretty extreme things, but Paimon bets she has her reasons. Maybe this is going too far, but with everything she's managed to do so far, wouldn't it make more sense in theory to be even more, heavy-handed? Why leave a letter when she could, well, we know there are plenty of other ways to keep people in line, right? The point is, she could have gone further, but she didn't. So, if it is her, she's got some principles at least. Yeah! Well, no change, really. But that thing Paimon told you about yesterday? Paimon feels like she can sense it more clearly now. Hearing you talk about your day makes Paimon itch for an adventure. If only she could be there with you so we could experience it all together.
Yeah, I wish you could be there too. I'm not used to adventuring alone. But don't worry.
Guess it's just one of those things. Never mind.
If Odette is Lelik, she may well have inside information on Project Stuja. Her father was involved with the project's early implementation and tragically died in the process. Now, it's hard to imagine she could have gotten this far without knowing anything at all about that song. When she spoke to us as a member of the Fatui, how much did she let on? And how much was she hiding? Only time will tell. Maybe tomorrow.
Hey, look! It's snowing! Could be a tough day.
Ooh, it sure is cold today. Here to see Odette? I just need to see your ticket. Perfect.
I think I'll leave the Lelik question until after the show's over. Then... Child said he was originally going to come with Tonya. So I'm guessing is there anyone here who looks like a Tonya? Let's see. It's a small audience. Makes sense for a preview. But wait. Mr. Chuganov's back again by the looks of it. Oh, and is that Mitya? And that Fatui officer, Valeri. Guess he must be playing cat and mouse with Mitya again. Oh no, it looks like the show...
Members of the audience, I'm a staff member here at the theater. Today's performance was a very special one for us. To commemorate this occasion, we would love to take a group photo of the cast, crew, and audience members present today.
All right, everyone, huddle in a little more. Now, look at the camera.
Are you quite satisfied, Mr. Energy Scientist? I rather hope you don't have any other escape plans to add to my workload today.
What are you talking about, Sarge? This was simply my way of inviting you to watch Miss Odette's new show with me. And wasn't the performance spectacular? In the future, I heartily encourage you to take a leaf out of my book. Find some soul-nourishing pastimes to enrich your time outside of work.
It was indeed a fine performance, but I must correct you on one point. This is not time outside of work. These are working hours.
Working hours and non-working hours are just a social construct. Human technology can never advance if we're too rigid in our thinking, Sarge.
May we leave now?
Already? I mean, off we go then, Sarge.
That has to be her. Excuse me. Are you... Your brother's busy today, so I took his ticket. Don't worry about him, he's fine.
Oh, okay. Sorry for the trouble.
What's wrong? Are you sick?
No.
Maybe she caught a cold on the way here because of the wet...
I haven't seen snow like this in a long, long time. It's most unusual.
I know. It's completely white out there. You can barely see a thing. I've never seen such heavy snow in my life.
Let's wait it out for now. You'd be lucky not to freeze to death in this weather, let alone find your way.
Well, look at that. Maybe we shouldn't be in such a rush to get back after all. What do you think?
Let's wait and see.
Why do you need to take it so seriously? Fate has given us this wonderful chance to take a break. We owe it to ourselves to make the most of it.
Come to think of it, there's a small inn not far from here that always keeps plenty of extra blankets on hand for guests. I know the route well. Shall I head over and borrow a few blankets? That way, anyone in a hurry can wrap up warm for the journey back. Just remember to return them next time you're over this way.
Sir, there's really no need to go to all that trouble.
Hey, it's no trouble at all. Wait here, I'll be right...
What a kind gentleman. Very good. My wife and daughter are waiting for me at home, so I shall be heading back as soon as I get my blanket.
So... Are you expecting us to go back to the Armory Palace wrapped in blankets too?
Don't worry about that. I made arrangements in advance. Should I not return to the Armory Palace within 3.5 hours after Operation Showtime begins, an armed squad will be sent to collect us. They will escort us back. You are one of our key military personnel, so any weather-related risks must be eliminated.
Operation Showtime? So, wait. Every single time you drag me back to work when I sneak out, it's a whole official operation? I gotta say, you've really turned this into quite a moral dilemma for me.
It's snowing pretty hard out there. I think you should stay here for now. You seem a little under the weather.
Sure. My brother might come pick me up in a bit anyway.
Time to get to work. I should head back...
Excuse me, are you looking for someone? A fan, I'm guessing? Today is just a dress rehearsal, so Miss Odette won't be meeting with fans. Sorry, but that area is currently off limits to everyone except the cast and crew.
Bad timing, I guess. Well, I might as well stick around. I doubt Odette will be leaving before the snow lets up in any case.
What happened to the gentleman who went to fetch the blankets? How has he still not returned?
I was thinking the same thing. It's still snowing very hard. Do you think something might have happened to him?
Whatever the reason for his delay, I must say I hate nothing more than people who make empty promises and fail to deliver. Well, I have to treat my employees like that on occasion, but that's different.
You seem anxious, Mr. Valeri.
It's been nearly 4 hours since I left the armory. The army should have arrived to extract us by now. They know how much I despise tardiness and disrupted plans. There's simply no reason that they shouldn't have shown up by now, barring exceptional circumstances.
Surely a snowstorm like this one counts as such.
Few things in this world can stop the Snezhnayan army, Mr. Mitya. And a snowstorm is certainly not one of them.
Why don't you go out and take a look? They might be right outside, waiting for your orders before they dare come in.
An absurd hypothesis. I have no intention of leaving your side for even a moment until I have escorted you back to the Armory Palace.
This doesn't look like an ordinary snowstorm to me. That guy who left earlier. It looked like he just vanished into thin air. Either that, or my eyes were playing tricks on me.
A man-eating snowstorm? Come on. Night hasn't even fallen yet. Spare us the ghost stories.
Traveler, didn't know you were coming today. How come you didn't say anything? What is it? Something the matter? Whoa, that's quite a snowstorm out there. I've been working backstage this whole time, so I didn't even notice. No wonder the audience hasn't left yet.
Is weather like this rare, even in Snezhnaya?
Yeah, snow like this. I'm sure I've seen it out in the wild before, but never in the city. Actually, I take that back. I don't think I've seen snow this bad even in the wild. This is something else. It's not normal.
If even Alosha thinks snow like this isn't normal, could it have anything to do with that monster people have been—
We can't stay cooped up here forever. Someone needs to go out and take— No need. I have plenty of experience with snowstorms. Besides... Everyone by the door. Careful not to let the snow soak into your shoes. In a snowstorm, you gotta look after your toes above all else.
Heading out, my man? Be careful. I've been told the snowstorm eats people alive.
Thanks for the advice. I am planning to be careful.
He's back! He's back! How was it? What's going on out there?
Did you see any soldiers patrolling the area?
Something about this storm isn't right. There's no one out there. I didn't see a single soul. And something in the air gives me the creeps. This isn't your average snowstorm. I suspect it might be related to recent events in our nation. I strongly advise everyone to stay here until the snow dies down.
Are you serious? So all of us are trapped here now? That sounds a little far-fetched to me.
You want to go outside and see? I, for one, am not risking my neck in that weather.
This just turned from a minor delay into a major hassle.
We can only hope that our friend who went to fetch the blankets just ditched us and went home.
Is it really that bad? But my daughter, I won't be able to read her a bedtime story tonight.
Huh? What are you all still doing here? Whoa! It's snowing hard! So now we're stuck here? Oh, this is terrible! Luckily, it was just a dress rehearsal today, so there aren't too many people here. On the bright side, the theater's always well stocked with supplies. If the snow still doesn't let up as we get into the evening, you can spend at least, I assume, fine by me.
This seems like a sensible backup plan under the circumstances. My thanks to the theater for being—
What are you staring outside and praying for, my man? You anxious to get home too?
Oh, Your Majesty the Tsaritsa, I beg you, please do not let tonight's snowstorm stop. This is a golden opportunity to spend the night under the same roof.
I think I've changed my mind. Sir, if you so much as look at us funny, you'll be seeing stars in a whole other way. Behave yourself, or you'll be begging for that blizzard.
It's getting colder. We need to keep the indoor temperature up. Close the door and lock it tight. Let's head somewhere warmer.
And then there's the aristocrats. Easiest of all to deal with. You don't need to use any force whatsoever. All you have to do is show them the rope you plan to tie them up with. Do you know?
I don't.
Because nothing horrifies them more than the thought of a cheap, coarse rope leaving creases on their precious $1,000,000 more coat. They'll do whatever you ask to avoid that fate.
Unexpected, but funny nonetheless. Tell me another.
Well, look at that. I got myself a new listener. Hey there. Let me introduce myself. The name's Shram, and I'm a mercenary. The kind that gets paid to do odd jobs.
And I am Chuganov, an entrepreneur. If my name is unfamiliar to you, you will no doubt have heard of my factory, the renowned Iskra manufacturing plant.
Are you really that famous, Mr. Chuganov? How come I've never heard your name before?
Excuse me? Is that a joke?
Oh, I'll have to ask my rope later. He's probably tied up more entrepreneurs than I've ever heard of.
My husband has major trust issues. To him, I doubt even this snowstorm is a good enough excuse for me to stay out all night.
That's the price of marrying into wealth. You'll get used to it. I'm not about to stop you if you want to leave, but don't drag me along. Hello? Can I help you?
How are you feeling, Tonya?
I'm fine. Sorry to worry you.
Child must take great care of his sister. He's never meant...
You know, I actually find this whole thing kind of exciting. Stuck in a strange place thanks to a snowstorm. Having to spend the kids, huh? My brother always says I'm not mature enough.
Look after yourself. Otherwise, your brother will come after me.
I don't think it's ever been this lively backstage before. I didn't know you were coming today. Hey, have you seen Chuganov? I heard he was coming today. Have you spoken to...
I'm with you. This could be just the chance we need.
Yeah, I gotta figure out a way to coax some more intel out of him. I wanted...
For the Rokad, or just out of personal interest?
Shh! There are other people...
This is highly irregular. A delay of over an hour during an operation like this theoretically warrants a Harbinger-level response. I wonder what the issue is. The storm, or something else.
Sarge, the day you learn to let go and just enjoy moments like this is the day you'll finally understand the meaning of life. Why, hello, sir. I believe you were the one sitting at a nearby... Any friend of the theater star performers is a friend of mine. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Mitya, from the Energy Commission.
Greetings. Major Valeri, head of the Special Assignments Battalion. Armory Palace Royal Grenadier Guards, 1st Regiment. I am here to ensure Mr. Mitya's personal safety. Please let me...
Mr. Traveler, I cannot help but notice that Miss Odette is stealing glances at me. Any idea what that could be about? I've racked my brains, but I can't think of anything I might have done to offend her. Perhaps she noticed me spacing out during her performance? What? You mean I really did do something to upset her? Well, thanks for letting me know.
So, Mr. Mitya, is your work related to Project Stuja?
Yes, that's right. The higher-ups in the Fatui transferred me from the Energy Commission to the Armory Palace because they wanted me to... Really? I can't even talk about that? Pretty sure it counts as part of my private life. All right, I won't say anything. Sorry, Traveler. As you can see, I'm afraid...
I have to say, even though today was a rehearsal and there were some hiccups along the way, Miss Odette's performance was one of the best I've ever seen, even compared to an actual show.
Oh, I couldn't agree more, especially considering the weight of the subject matter. It takes a truly Do you think we were coming on too strong? Odette's ignoring us again.
What about you? What did you think of today's performance? Oh my, that's very flattering of you. Thank you. I'll make sure to save a ticket.
This doesn't seem like the time or place to bring up the subject of Lelik. I need a chance to speak with...
So unfair. Talk about double standards.
And now it looks like I've been spotted. You know Mitya too?
No, I don't. I just have a feeling that he might be dangerous. How's it looking, Alosha?
No change from this afternoon. Heavy snow with no sign of slowing down.
May I have your attention, please? The storm is unlikely to stop tonight, and it'll be even more dangerous outside at night than it was during the day. We at the theater owe everyone here a duty of care. Therefore, we strongly suggest that you stay on site overnight and avoid going outside unless absolutely necessary. In a few short moments, we'll give you a tour of the theater's various quarters. You can choose to sleep in the VIP room, the office, or backstage. Or on the stage if you'd prefer. We won't mind.
I'll pass on sleeping on the stage. What if the snow is stopped by tomorrow morning? The early birds in the audience might think we're part of some experimental new show.
A drama about sleeping? That could be fun. Maybe we could come up with a title for the production.
Not bad. Clear selling point at least. Could be a big hit.
Anyone who doesn't wish to sleep on the stage, please follow me. I'll show you to the rooms.
I guess I'll call it a night. Though I feel like I won't sleep very well without Paimon here. I'm sure she'll be worried that I haven't made it back. I wonder if she's feeling any better yet.
Ah, finally. Welcome back to the world of the living, lazy bones. I was about to wake you. The black mist is almost on us. Still waking up, huh? You know, the black mist. It's been chasing us from below ever since we were born. You're just dozy. There's no way you've forgotten. Come on, let's keep heading up. Onwards and upwards is the only way to survive. Don't listen to a word those black mist cultists say.
Here we go again. That endless march toward survival.
What's going on? That black mist down there is creeping me out. And it's rising. Guess I should head upwards and get away from it.
The black mist cultists believe that being swallowed by the black mist leads to everlasting peace. But if you ask me, they're just lying to themselves. We're the only heretics left. The only ones who refuse to give in. We have to keep going.
But how do you actually know that they're wrong?
Dangerous question there, Torgov. The moment your faith wavers, you start a chain reaction that ends in the collapse of your will. Put the question out of your mind. Stay strong and believe that the black mist means certain death.
Okay, But it's not my mind that's the problem. My body's about to give up on me.
I can't do this anymore. I've had enough.
All this will pass eventually, I promise. Keep fighting. It will be worth it.
You accuse the Black Mist cultists of being liars. But you're lying too. There is no end to this path. It keeps going up forever.
The cult of the Black Mist has poisoned your mind, Sobolova. Are you thinking of giving up as well?
I am. I think I'll take my chances with the Black Mist over this perpetual...
As much as I detest the Black Mist cultist...
Then I bid you both farewell. Let me put my personal... Fate always appears so impossibly complicated. But at moments like this, its raw simplicity is laid bare. Their fate was sealed from the instant they entertained doubt. From then on, the outcome was both inevitable and irreversible. Torgov and Sobolova are gone. I never thought the day would come when even they would be swallowed by the Black Mist. It's just you and me now. Yes, it looks like it's satisfied. For now. This happens from time to time. But it won't be long before the Black Mist starts chasing survivors once again. No one knows how to stop its advance for good. Well, we should make the most of the precious moments of rest that those two... Huh? Are you really that...
What is it, Chuganov?
Is it morning already? Sounds like it's coming from next...
Don't look, Miss Tonya. Okay.
What happened to them?
These two people have passed away. And the strange thing is that some... Have I seen this moment before? Or did I have...
Let me take a look. No vital signs in either of them. They're dead. The cause of death, however, remains unclear.
But just last night, they were chatting...
Could they have had pre-existing medical conditions? Even then, the odds of them both dying of sudden complications on the same night are extremely low.
It's hard to believe that they died of natural causes. Nor does this appear to be a suicide. Who was the first to discover the bodies?
It was me. But these deaths have nothing to do with me, officer. I got up early because I wanted to see if the snow had stopped. Then I noticed that the door to this room was open, and it looked like there was a man and woman inside. I just went over to see what was going on. I had no idea.
I can corroborate this. I was doing my morning exercises near the stage. When I saw Mr. Chuganov heading this way, I followed him. I can also confirm that I didn't see a single person approach that room before him.
The snowstorm was raging all night, and it...
You mean an intruder?
Everyone, split into pairs and search the theater for anyone...
Nothing backstage is clear.
We checked the basement. Also clear.
Are we certain that the theater doesn't have a back door?
No, there's nothing like that. If people were sneaking in through some secret tunnel to avoid buying a ticket, we'd have sealed it off ages ago. I also checked the windows. All of them are locked from the inside.
It sounds like we can safely rule out the intruder theory. If anyone came in during...
This can only mean one thing. It's like one of those murder mysteries you see in novels and plays, isn't it? The ones where the killer is... one of us.
We can't quite jump to that conclusion just...
Could he be right? It's hard to imagine something like that happening in real life. Set in a theater during a snowstorm. A murder takes place, and the killer is among us. It's such a classic trope that it seems unbelievable.
Looking at who the killer targeted, and the clean entry and exit, it all adds up.
What is? What have you figured?
Both victims were wealthy, well-known local merchants. And the door was deliberately left open, so I would discover the bodies and witness the crime scene first thing in the morning. Such ruthless methods.
Lelek?
You mean Lelik is among us? And he's the killer?
Lelik. I know this code name. Member of the Rokot, anti-Project Snezhnaya. Always works alone. I've read the case files at the Armory Palace. Walk me through your reasoning, Mr. Chuganov.
What now, huh? What now, Lelik? What more do you want from me? I already voted against Project Snezhnaya at the Snezhnograd. You snuck into my house the other day while I was asleep. Left a threatening letter. And I did all that you asked. But Project Snezhnaya cannot be so easily shaken. Not with the rooster in charge.
So he really was threatened by Lelik. That makes sense.
And now you're resorting to murder to threaten me. Isn't that right? I knew it. The Rokot despises the rich. The lives of the wealthy are but refuse in your eyes. Show yourself! Which one of you is Lelik, Tell me!
Was this really Lelik's doing? Would Odette really do something like this? If Odette really is Lelik, this seems out of character. But then again, I'm probably the only one here with a compelling theory about Lelik's true identity. But if I reveal it now, I'll be putting Odette in the line of fire. What should I do?
I don't think it's likely that Lelik killed anyone. At least from the stories I've heard. He's never killed anyone. Besides, even if Lelik did want to threaten you, why resort to such an extreme and roundabout method? It's not his style at all.
Vodyanitsa doesn't know that Lelik might be Odette, but her assessment is pretty much identical to mine.
Miss Vodyanitsa, why do you suddenly...
Defense? Oh, no, it's just... I'm worried that we're jumping to conclusions here, so I wanted to share my point of view. Also, I don't think the Rokot is as bad as you're making it out to be.
Well, if you think I'm so wrong, what's your...
The case is still evolving, Mr. Chuganov. Please do not prevent others from expressing their opinion.
Even so, there's no denying that the recent threat received by Mr. Chuganov may well be an important clue.
So there's still a good chance that Lelik is right here among us. I can't do this anymore. I don't care if it's still snowing outside. I have to get out of here.
Whoa, take a beat. We all know it's far too dangerous out there. Even the soldiers can get to us. And whoever this Lelik is, they're surely not going to murder anyone in broad daylight. Be sensible, my man. You're safer inside.
As much as I regret having to say this, I'd like everyone to cooperate and refrain from exiting the premises until further notice. Because as things stand, every one of us is now a suspect. Unless anyone has further information to share, let's adjourn for now. Feel free to keep
You're right, that was my bad. It was a knee-jerk reaction. I didn't think it through. Luckily, no one suspected my identity. Oh, phew.
Since Vodyanitsa and I were on the same page earlier,
Whoa. Are you serious? I don't know if this counts as gossip. Odette? Really?
Actually, it's exactly what you'd expect. Sometimes, hiding in...
And now that you mention it, what are we up to now? Odette's identities. She's my coworker, specifically a ballerina, and also a Fatuz, a member of the Rokot. Now, Lelik. It must be so exhausting. I guess since I've always known her as a member of the Fatui, it never even crossed my mind that she could be involved with the Rokot. I don't understand. If she's with the...
Probably best if you ask her that in person.
Well, since you waited until now to bring this up instead of announcing it, yeah. Lelik may not follow or we need to confront her.
Do you think she'd really admit to being Lelik?
I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes. Now's her chance. Odette's alone. Let's go. Hey, Odette.
What is it, you guys?
Shh. Keep your voice down. So, Alright, fine. You don't have to say anything or explain yourself. Just hear me out first. None of us believes you'd kill innocent people. Whoever murdered those 2 people last night, it wasn't you. The Traveler was the first to figure out your identity, but he kept quiet during the discussion just now. Still, it's clear where the group consensus is heading. Everyone believes Lelik is the culprit. If your identity is exposed, you'll be in a really bad spot. We're your colleagues, and we know what kind of person you are. So, can you clue us in?
Alright. Yes, I'm Lelik. And no, I'm not the murderer. And thanks, but I don't need you to cover for me. Actually, I'm planning to reveal my identity.
Huh? You're gonna reveal—
That's right. I'll admit I was surprised at first when Chuganov guessed that I was here. It was just a lucky guess, but it caught me off guard. But after taking some time to assess the situation and confirm where everyone stands, I don't believe I have anything to worry about.
Are you sure you don't need a second opinion? Mr. Valeri! What?!
I don't know what game you're playing, but you've got a lot of—
It's just one identity. So what if it's exposed? I can disappear and adopt a new identity anytime I please. I made my peace with this when I chose to become Lelik. But more importantly, I promise I am not the murderer. So, if anyone still insists that I did this, you'd best produce the evidence now. Otherwise, I suggest that you bite your tongue. Because if you really believe I killed 2 people without making a sound or leaving a trace, pointing fingers at me would surely only make you my next target.
Is this really the truth, Miss Odette?
That's confidence, all right. I believe you.
A real no-nonsense attitude. I can see why Marionette said that she's on—
Are you seriously buying this? Hey, officer! She just admitted to being Lelik. Aren't you going to do something about—
I do have one question, Miss Odette. Why—
If I didn't say anything, everyone would be focusing all their efforts on finding Lelik. And that is exactly what the real culprit wants. I don't want to be the scapegoat who lets the murderer get away with this crime.
Despite all the accusations, she made the smart choice. A remarkable display of rational thinking under pressure. Clearly, Odette's talent extends far—
Thought so far ahead. Why do I always feel like I'm one step behind her in everything?
You've convinced me. Dealing with the murder case remains the top priority right now. Let's put the name Lelik and all related incidents aside until further notice. Nevertheless, the group still considers you the prime suspect. I assume you have no
I understand. You're welcome to keep an eye on me around the clock. I have no objections.
Mr. Chuganov?
For my wife and daughter's sake, I'll let you off the hook for now. But don't think you're forgiven for breaking into my house and threatening me. Just wait.
Good work, Lelik guard team. And Lelik too. Here, have some hot water.
Turns out Valeri knew about my exploits. So now I've been told I have to guard Lelik with him.
Shouldn't you be facing my way if you're guarding me? At the moment, it looks more like you're my bodyguards.
If the true culprit is indeed still at large, as you have claimed, we must keep our guard up against—
Don't worry, Tonya. Once the snow stops, the officials will step in. The investigation will get— But Once? You're gonna miss us, huh?
Really, Miss Vodoyanitsa? That's awesome! You've made a fan for life.
Aw, you're so... Alright, let's swear to it. I promise to give you the pass, and you promise to never change your mind about being my fan.
Promise.
Don't indulge her, Tonia. You don't have to swear an oath over things like that.
You really do get carried away sometimes, don't you?
Hey! Mind your own business!
Don't be nervous, Miss Water Imp. Everyone's here. There's nothing to be afraid of.
Excuse me? Do I look nervous?
No. You sound nervous, lass.
Oh. Wait, but how... Okay, plenty of people know that I'm a water imp, but still... How come you understand our primary mode of expression?
Primary mode of expression. I've not come across that concept before. Do enlighten me, Vodoyanitsa.
Well, it's just... We water imps tend to communicate our emotions to each other by singing, rather than facial expressions. The emotions we convey through song take precedence over our facial expressions. So, we think of it as our primary mode of expression.
I'm impressed, Shram. I didn't take you for a man of culture, but you're clearly rather learned.
It's not about being cultured or not. The thing is, this mode of expression can usually only be understood by other water imps. It's not a simple case of a song sounding happy or sad. And yet, you're clear.
It's really not the big deal you're making it out to be. I think I just have a knack for it. Plus, I have a... very close friend who's a water imp. A delightful lady. But keep that a secret. Anyway, we spent so much time together that before I knew it, I noticed I could understand her expressions.
Oh, I guess that makes sense.
Hey, what are you implying? You're not...
Heavens, why would I do a thing like that?
It's getting late. We should discuss our sleeping arrangements for tonight.
I suggest that we don't sleep in separate quarters tonight. It will be safer if we all...
As long as someone keeps an eye on Lelik, I'm quite sure we won't have any
Are you saying that you wish to bet your life on Miss Odette being the killer?
Nonsense. Of course not.
Then I propose the following arrangement for tonight. The Traveler, Odette, and I will form the Night Watch. We'll sleep in shifts, but 2 of us must be awake at any given time.
An excellent idea. This allows us to handle the Night Watch while also keeping an eye on Lelik. Meanwhile, the rule of taking shifts in pairs resolves the other issue. Namely that we can't necessarily trust the Traveler or Valeri either. I expect that plan took you quite some time to come up with, didn't it?
Actually, our field combat manual outlines a similar approach. Although the scenario there involves guarding prisoners overnight during field operation. That being said, I must clarify that I harbor no disrespect towards you personally, Miss Odette. In fact, Lelik's numerous covert operations make fine textbook examples for military agents.
I care less about respect and more about the fact that you just robbed me of 2/3 of my sleep tonight. I'm calling dibs on being the first to rest. Good night.
It's almost time. We should wake Odette. How are you faring? Oh, not going to argue with that.
It's finally time for Odette and I to share the night watch. I should wake her up. I came here to get information from her in the first place. Maybe I should think about what questions I want to ask before...
How long are you gonna keep staring at me? Couldn't sleep. My mind's been running haywire. Plus, there's something I've been meaning to talk to you. I had a hunch that you wanted a conversation, too. I just had a simple question for you, really. Rosaline, in her final moments, did she have any last words or anything? see. Well, that was all. No. She was utterly ruthless in pursuing her goals. That kind of person should be hard to miss, and yet, even though I never approved of her methods, and she was oh, she told you. I guess that makes sense. I think yes. Rosaline wasn't when I was a child, I had to join the Fatui for the sake of my mother and me. I trained under Rosaline. It was extremely grueling, and it didn't exactly come naturally to me. All I could do was try to ignore the biting cold and practice. I was a newcomer who'd managed to make a good first impression on a harbinger. There was pressure to live up to her expectations, to be worthy of the fair lady's reputation. Every day was a struggle against the cold, pain, and after enduring all that, I've become almost immune to the sensation of pain. I suppose that was the cost of survival. Surely, any child who had to experience that. So, I put an equal amount of effort into my ballet. Because in my young mind, that was the only way to defy my fate. It was my way of telling her. The Fatui's demands and your I think she probably blamed my poor performance in training on my passion for ballet. She knew my heart was in it. One time, when I was secretly practicing a dance at night, she suddenly showed up. I knew she was there to catch me red-handed. I told her, "You don't deserve to watch the dance I learned from my mother." She looked stunned. I guess she was surprised that I lashed out first, before she had the chance. But strangely enough, on that occasion, she wasn't fierce with me like she was during. After that, she never interfered with my dancing or asked me how it was going. She never came to watch me dance again either. Not even once. She was. But even now, whenever I take out this core Ignis, I can't help but think of that night. Of the look on her face. Sort of. Although gift might be too kind a term. This is her flame sealed within ice. A symbol of her favor, yes, but also her way of keeping an eye on people. She knew the location of every piece of core Ignis. If any recipient started acting suspiciously, she'd be on to them immediately. Trust her to make even a mark of approval feel suffocating. So, when news of Rosaline's death reached Snezhnaya, many people immediately crushed their core Ignis. It gave them a profound sense of relief, like they'd broken free from her shackles. But I kept mine. With my sensitivity to pain, I still wonder. I guess she didn't leave anything behind. Not that I expected her to. It's fine. It's just a bit of a shame that we couldn't... She did. Are you sure she was talking about this event? No, she didn't. I didn't even find out that she'd gone to Mondstadt. Wait, in that case... Okay, I will.
There's something I'm trying to figure out. Paimon's very important to me, so I have to get to the bottom of this. I figured that since you're Lelik, you might...
The ultimate goal of this energy experiment is to create a weapon for the final battle. The weapon's construction was completed in Nodcry. Now, all that remains, yes, the weapon's development and all the I'm not sure why this experiment would be making Paimon feel... Once we get out of here, I'll help you apply for an entry permit. And I'm hardly the organization's proudest member, as you know. You answered my question about Rosaline. I want to do you a...
You two seem to be hitting it off.
I thought you were sleeping.
Of course I was. In the military, one learns to fall asleep quickly, even in the most inhospitable environments. It's vital to staying alert and energized.
Even if he was awake, he can't have overheard us, right?
Well, thank you both for keeping watch. Traveler, I'll take over.
Sure. This is our second night here, but at least I found out a little more about Paimon's. I hope she's been sleeping. Why do I feel like... Seriously? Is this... Never mind.
Hey, what are you spacing out for? Are you reaching your limit?
How long have we been walking for?
Time's lost all meaning. Ever since we noticed that thing above our heads.
A star key? Or key star? Anyway, the person who named it was swallowed by the black mist.
Whatever it's called. But it seems like no matter how...
Well, we've come this far. You never know.
Monsters! Watch out!
Not again! I've lost count of how many times we run into them. Careful!
What?
And take!
Here they come again! Get ready!
You wanna fight? Let's go! Gotta...
Monsters ahead of us. The black mist behind us. It feels like there's no escape.
Are you hurt, Coolish?
No. I'm fine.
I get...
Yeah. The hope that the star gives us is the only thing keeping us going. Otherwise, why would it always be out of reach?
We know you mean well, but you're only saying that to try and encourage us.
Thank you, friend. But enough is enough. Please don't give me a... You're going to continue, aren't you? I admire that.
It's not an illusion. We really are getting closer to the star.
Congratulations. You're the first I'm the star's envoy. The black mist has stopped rising. Its hunger is satisfied for now, having devoured your two companions. This is a good opportunity. I'll let you get some rest before we continue. What do you mean, leave? The star represents the starting point. It's the waypoint for the beginning. Congratulations on reaching the starting point. Once you are ready, we will head up. Huh? What's wrong?
Rampana! Rampana!
Is that...
Coolish, wake up!
The situation is identical to that of the two casualties.
At least there are some elements that we can rule out this time.
Rampana.
Weren't some of us keeping watch last night? 3 of us, in fact. How could you...
I'm as confused as you are. Certainly nothing unusual happened on my watch.
Likewise, and from what I've observed so far, both Miss Odette and the Traveler can be trusted.
To be honest, I didn't get a wink of sleep last night. I couldn't help but think I was the target. So I just laid there with my eyes closed. I heard the Traveler and Lelik chatting, but otherwise I don't recall hearing any commotion.
Me too. I didn't want to wake everyone up, so I was concentrating hard, trying not to cough. I hardly slept at all. If anything had happened, I'm sure...
Then, what could possibly be... I worked closely with Rampana and Coolish for so long.
4 victims in just 2 days. I need to get to the bottom of this as soon as possible. And above all, keep Tonya safe. I'd never be able to look Child in the eye again otherwise.
Still snowing?
Yes, I just checked. Still no sign of anyone else.
So we only have ourselves to rely...
If you ask me, this killer can clearly strike whenever they please. Lelik must be an expert in poisoning. Clearly she used some poison that can't be detected on the corpse.
Here we go again.
Listen, I was already thinking to myself last night, was Lelik's reason for revealing her identity the real story? Well, now I have my answer. She's been playing us for fools.
That's a hideous thought. One that only a hideous mind like yours could dream up.
How dare...
That's enough! Yesterday, you named Lelik as a suspect because the victims were both wealthy merchants. Lelik might have had a motive then, but today's victims were just ordinary people. Not to mention that they were colleagues of Odette and mine. What reason would she have to murder them? Let me guess, just to scare you?
Who knows? Maybe you don't know her as well as you think. I implore you all to ask yourselves, how many people are there really in this world that have what it takes to kill another person? Not Lelik is well known to be a ruthless operator, and now she has revealed her identity.
Everything you said so far is still just conjecture, which doesn't constitute a concrete...
How can you defend her, officer? Maybe I shouldn't be so surprised. You military types are always colluding with criminals to target the rich. All so you can get your grubby paws on our hard-earned fortunes, then tell us to fall in line. The Fatui, the Druzhna, and the Rokot. Don't you...
Sir, but... You were the one who told us not to stop other people from expressing their opinion. 4 people have already died. Only yesterday I was chatting with Mr. Coolish. Then we woke up in the morning. Turning against one another is the last thing we should be doing right now.
Little girl.
Even if Mr. Chuganov is a puffed-up, pig-headed windbag who doesn't have a clue what he's talking about, he's still one of the victims here, isn't he?
Quite. I had no intention of resorting to violence. But you're right, Miss Tonya. I ought not prevent him from speaking his mind. In any case, I believe Mr. Chuganov has calmed down a little now. We may resume our discussion.
I don't think there's any need for that. What is there to discuss? Nothing about this situation is normal.
Did you have an idea, Mitya? You're the brainiac here, right?
I've been mulling something over. But then there's the 2 double murder crime scenes themselves, which have given us absolutely nothing.
So what are you suggesting?
I think this could be a supernatural event. It isn't characteristic of human...
Correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't you supposed to be a scientist? That just...
I got into scientific research because of my insatiable curiosity. But if the present situation defies all known scientific explanations, I don't mind shifting my curiosity toward the paranormal instead.
Now that you mention it, I remember when I first haunted?
Yeah,
Well, this has taken an unexpected turn. A haunted
Why don't we take this opportunity to look for clues again with a more open mind? Maybe a different
Very well. Whether it's...
Valeri, come take a look at this.
some sort of notebook.
It's the on-duty logbook for the theater. Kulish was the main... He mostly used it to record any unusual incidents during a show, audience numbers, exit times. Yes, he'd always have this log...
This should confirm a lot of key details.
Yes. The number of people... Apparently, we have an extra person among us.
Are we certain that logbook is accurate? Could someone have sneaked...
Unlikely. Kulish took his duties very seriously. Not to mention that this was a dress rehearsal, meaning smaller audience numbers and tighter ticket restrictions than usual. Everything would have...
We no longer have our tickets with us, do we? They got collected on entry. I assume there's no way we can...
Unfortunately not. The theater recycles tickets. Once people are in the door, they don't tend to leave until the show ends, so we collect the tickets at the point of entry. Still, I'm inclined to believe that this discrepancy in the head count is significant somehow.
Did an extra person just materialize out of thin...
Tonya, did...
Not yet. Still looking. So...
This looks like... somebody's notebook.
Well, alright. Let's...
Huh. This has to be
Maybe it's a little rude for us to peek at this. I feel like It sounds like she's writing this for her parents, right? Because her water imp parents belong to the aristocracy, who were driven out of Snezhnaya by the Tsaritsa long ago. And now they live somewhere new, where the postman can't get to. We're sorry. It's fine. My fault for not storing it properly. I can't leave things lying around and expect them to get ignored when everyone's scouring the place for clues. All right, give me my notebook back. I'll take over the investigation in this room. Oh God, and this one. Oh my. Why am I so embarrassing?
Ah, Traveler.
Alosha found it. We're both curious to hear your perspective. It appears to be a, well...
An investigation report, huh? Looks quite old.
The theater manager must have hired an investigator once,
Presumably, the manager wanted to know if the supposed haunting was dangerous, while also... Anyway, the bottom line is, the haunting is actually real after all. It's caused by an obstruction in the ley lines. Is there any chance this is the key to finally making some progress with the murder?
Ley line problems are pretty unexceptional to me by this point. And while it certainly offers an explanation for it's hard to imagine what connection it could have to these two murder cases.
Some of the language that appears at the very end of the report caught my eye. Angel civilization, ley line renovation? My area of research doesn't touch on any of that, so it's completely outside... Huh? A piece of paper just fell out from the report. It landed right by your feet. How unnerving. It was tucked inside the report, so it must be a note left by the author. Death is near. Is that supposed to be what's going on here? With us? In the theater? But if so, how did the author foresee it? Could he
Maybe things are more complicated than we
No, wait a second. If we take the report and the note at face value, they completely contradict one another. The report definitively concludes that the hauntings in the theater are harmless and cannot affect the real world. But the note seems to be warning of potential danger. The question is, what exactly does the note mean by death? The various ways we could interpret this keyword lead in completely different directions. Let's pause our analysis here for now. I think we need more information. If we take all this together, it's not impossible, is it? If anything, it's the natural conclusion.
Oh, I beg to differ. This sounds to me like a product of a researcher's vivid imagination. And perhaps it's because I'm still viewing this through the lens of a typical murder investigation. But still.
Does it really sound that far-fetched? All right, well, let's treat that as speculation for now. I do agree with what...
Good. Okay, now that we finally have some meaningful leads, I think it's time to reconvene. So, that's about I'll share my theory first. Based on what we've learned from the logbook, I believe the extra person among us is most likely the killer. If the killer had simply bought a ticket, it would have greatly increased the risk of their identity being exposed. I expect he or she either hid in the theater ahead of time, or found a way to slip past the ticket inspection. They then blended in with the group and waited for an opportunity to strike.
What about the note found in the investigation report? Any thoughts on how that fits in?
The killer may have simply planted it there as some sort of sick joke.
So, it has nothing to do with the...
This theory makes sense to me. If we have an audience member unaccounted for, chances are they didn't come here to watch the show.
Could it really be that simple?
So, in other words, all we have to do is find out who got in here without a ticket, and all our problems will be... Then let me make one thing clear. All the theater staff should be well aware that I came here for the rehearsal legitimately, yes? There's no way I'm the one who didn't have a ticket.
It's true. I hear you used every trick in the book to get a hold of that ticket, too. Everything short of throwing a temper tantrum and rolling around on the floor at the entrance.
I most certainly did not degrade myself in such a...
Probably a stupid question, but I might as well ask. Did anyone hear... Guess it was naive of me to expect them to just admit to it.
Especially after the unprompted Lelik reveal. Once was already a miracle. Twice would be unfathomable.
As things stand, the audience head count doesn't add up. I guess we can rule out the theater staff members. I don't believe any of us here knew Shram before all this. If no one can verify Shram's identity... Mr. Shram, did you really go through the ticket inspection to get in here?
Huh? Me? Why am I being singled out, my friend?
It's not that you stand out as suspicious, more that everyone else has been ruled out as trustworthy.
Okay. Well, we spent the best part of 2 days together now, so I'm sure you can all tell what kind of person I am.
Yeah, I have no doubt that you're a good person. But the problem, although actually, what was it you said last night? Yeah, you're friends with that water imp, which is why you understand our primary mode of expression. Last time I checked, there were barely any of us remaining in Snezhnaya, since most of the water imps left. Could you tell me a little bit more about your friend? There's a good chance I actually know her. And I suppose it's also kind of a way for everyone else to get to know you a little.
Good grief. Are you blushing? Pull yourself together, man. Stop.
Hey, revolting is a little strong. I was just the bodyguard hired by our family. But the stars must have aligned, because sparks began to fly between me and their daughter.
We don't need details. Just get...
Okay. I'm just a little hesitant to reveal her name. That's even with me to protect her. If word gets out that she's dating a human, both the Fae and human factions will give her a hard time.
Really? Wait, no. That can't be.
Huh? Shram, what the devil are you talking about?
Why is everyone looking at me like that? Surely you can understand where I'm coming from.
Delicate times? Factions?
Yes. You know, the Civil War. Last time I checked, the Fae and the humans were still at each other's throats.
If I'm not mistaken, the last significant civil war in Snezhnaya in history was over 400 years ago, when Her Majesty the Tsaritsa had...
What do you mean, 400 years ago?
What's going on here? Is Shram from the past?
All right, Mr. Mitya, you win this round. As far-fetched...
I'm just as amazed as you are. I didn't even believe it myself, to be honest.
Is someone going to explain what's going on here?
From the look on your face, you figured it out too, haven't you, Traveler?
Vodyanitsa's private letter touches upon the hit. That seems to be the case. No, the truth lies. The theater's ley lines have been modified to block souls within its grounds from returning to them. Mr. Shram's statement proves, and according to the investigation report on the theater hauntings, Mr. Shram is very likely a lost soul wandering the theater. For some unknown reason, the soul that has been wandering the theater due to the ley line issues has joined our group and blended in. Yeah, that must be the immediate reason why the ticket count doesn't match the number of people present. The contents of the investigation report have been verified. There are indeed ley line issues and wandering souls in the theater. Death likely symbolizes the deceased. Mr. Shram, for instance, death is near. That must mean that there's a dead person in our midst.
Yeah, the logic is clear now.
The investigation... Mr. Schramm must be one such soul who died in the theater a long time. So when the note said death is near, it must have been referring to death as in the deceased. People who died a long time ago.
Someone who died.
In short, there's a dead person among us. The extra person we've been...
You mean I'm a ghost? No. Don't make jokes like that, my man. There must be some mistake. But even if I was dead, I know for a fact I didn't kill anyone these past 2 nights.
Yeah. Even if all that's true, the report also said the souls inside the theater can't affect
Then what if the ley lines have a powerful ability to attract and devour souls? Let's say that the ley lines are like a black hole, constantly seeking to engulf souls. But the souls that don't want to return are trying to avoid being sucked in. Why does this analogy... What happens when the black hole can't achieve its goal? I'm only speculating here, but what if it ended up swallowing innocent souls by mistake? Or intentionally taking other souls to compensate?
That could explain why we weren't able to determine a cause of death. If you're right, and their souls were devoured by the ley lines, it does make some sense.
It does seem to explain a lot of the things we couldn't make sense of. Does that...
Except there's no concrete evidence. Mitya's relying. Still, it seems like the best explanation we have.
Alright, so how could Schramm not know that he's dead? Seems a little unlikely that he hasn't noticed anything unusual even after several days interacting with us.
On the contrary, it's perfectly normal for a soul to wander the theater for centuries without questioning their existence or reason for being there. It's simply what's natural for them.
You know what, Mr. Brainiac? I think you might actually be right after all. I'm trying to remember and... even though my head feels like it's going to explode, I think... I was the one who didn't want to remember my own death. So I forced myself to forget.
Well, I'm sure those...
My lady and I snuck out to go on a date one day. We bought tickets for the theater. It wasn't really my thing, but I was just happy to be together. All of a sudden, a group of people burst into the theater, shouting for all the water imps to get out, performers and audience members included. It was clear the conflict between humans and Fae had reached a boiling point. This time, the extremists were even coming after the water imps who had nothing to do with the war. I thought I could pull one over on them. So I took off my jacket, draped it over my lady, and tried to sneak out amid the chaos. But I got caught. They started shouting, calling me a traitor to humanity. But I was going to do whatever it took to buy our chance to escape, no matter how many people stood in my way. I had to, both as their bodyguard and out of love.
It's all right, friend.
It's just... Even now, If I'd known I was a dead man walking, I wouldn't have dragged you down with me. If I'm the cause of all this death, then punish me however you see fit.
But...
No. I refuse to be a burden. I know what I have to do. You said I've been wandering the theater for centuries, right? I guess it's high time I got a breath of fresh air. Out there, I mean. I'll leave this place and take all this death with me. Go out on my own terms.
Mr. Schramm, I'm sure we can figure out a different...
My good sir, we both know I'm not supposed to be here. I should have accepted my death long ago. One way or another, this has to end. Unless you're saying this goes against another one of your military principles.
No, I'm speaking on a personal level this time.
Let it go, man. Oh, wait. One last thing.
Ozarova. Oh, Auntie Ozarova. That's what we all called her. I remember her as a very kind elder. She had a bunch of...
I'm so glad she survived. And she had lots of kids? Good. That's... good. I could hardly expect her to stay single just because of what happened to me, right? As long as she went on to be happy. That's all that matters. Besides, I'm dead. My soul has been wandering around here for so long because I was worried about her. But now, I can go without regret. There's no need to see me off, my friends. I've enjoyed our time together over these past few days. Perhaps we'll meet again in the next life.
Take care, my man.
I know Mr. Shram was already dead, but...
Death is cruel, no matter how we might try to make sense.
So, was the conflict between Fae and humans really that bad back then? I was only little, so I don't remember much. It's terrible to think that so many innocent people had their lives. Even the historical records about that time period don't say much about it. All people know is that the Tsaritsa founded the Fatui.
It seems to me like the Tsaritsa chose to make herself the enemy. She downplayed the conflict, directing whatever animosity both sides had for each other at herself instead. That's also why, despite how brutal the conflict was at the time, there hasn't been much lingering tension between humans and Fae since. Things have been fairly harmonious for the past few centuries.
So, the Tsaritsa banished the Fae to protect the Fae living in the city? She offered herself up to be hated in exchange for peace.
Maybe it's not quite as bad as it sounds. I don't think Her Majesty is too concerned if mortals hate her or not. And besides, there are very few who truly do.
All this time, I had no idea.
All right, if Mitia's theory is correct, then I think we can consider this matter settled. Let's all take a break.
Ugh, if only this blasted storm wasn't...
Looks like now we can just rest until the snowstorm stops. I still can't believe Shram turned out to be a ghost who'd been in the theater for hundreds of years. To think he was dead this whole time.
Knock knock.
Huh?
Knock knock.
You know the door isn't closed, right? You don't have...
Think of it as a signal then. When I'm entering someone else's room and I knock, I'm here as thanks.
So, why did you come to find me? Is there something I can help with?
Vodyanitsa said you knew about my secret identity from the start, but when everyone was discussing who Lelik could be, you were worried that revealing what you knew would be unfair to me, so you kept it to yourself, right? Yes, I'm extremely grateful for that.
It's nothing. I mean, you didn't hold what happened with Signora against me, so I should thank you for that as well.
Actually, there's something else as well. I found myself in a situation, so I thought I'd come and ask you for advice. It's about Mitia. Before all of this, the last time I saw him, he was dead. As I'm sure you know, my goal as Lelik was to stop Project Stuja. Well, when I found out the tech lead for the experiment behind Project Stuja was Mitia, I immediately started. I often saw him around the theater, so I decided to infiltrate the Armory Palace and go directly to his... Well, I suppose, but when I finally made it to his lab, Mitia seemed... I checked his breathing and his pulse. He had no vital signs whatsoever. I thought maybe another anti-Project Stuja activist had beaten me to it, and chosen a much more brutal method, so I made myself scarce.
That's why you were so on guard around Mitia that first night here.
Yes. When I saw him sitting in the audience during the performance, I could barely contain the shock. To me, it was a miracle. Somehow, he'd come back from the dead. But then, the murders started happening, that is, until Mitia himself said there must be a dead person among us. Then...
And yet, You thought that bringing it up right away would single Mitya out. Just like when everyone...
Exactly. Besides, we soon...
But now, it seems like there's an... I understand why you kept it to yourself.
So, what...
Let me confirm one thing first. When was it?
Around a week ago.
A week ago? That's earlier than I thought. I saw him just a few days ago at a restaurant. That definitely would have been after you found him dead. He seemed completely normal to me.
So he was definitely alive on that day.
Here's a thought. The reason we even suspected a dead person could be among us was because of the problem with the theater's ley lines, but Mitya's death happened inside the Armory Palace. The ley lines affecting the theater shouldn't reach that.
You're right. I guess he doesn't fit the...
I think the chances of it being him are very low. Surely he can't have died for real in the Armory Palace.
Unless what?
Unless he really did come back from the dead.
Huh, what's this? A private meet and greet? Where do I line up?
That's not what's going on here.
Well, I was just making the rounds. Thought I'd try to lighten the mood a bit. Vodyanitsa's handing out food if you're hungry.
What is going on with this storm?
I almost hope it is. Her Majesty the Tsaritsa left to vanquish that beast herself.
Do you think people still feel the cold after they die? I'm wondering about Shram. Oh, maybe we should have given him a coat before he went out there.
Death itself is cold, isn't it? I'm sure the storm will embrace him.
Well, I hope he has a safe trip. Thinking back on it, we barely made it out alive. Once we get out of here, how are we going to explain...
Are you okay?
Look who's Mr. Nice Guy all of a sudden.
Yeah, without Tonya, who knows how badly he would have been hurt.
I told you already, I never intended to resort to violence.
Bunch of rascals. Little girl? I was rather surprised when you spoke up for me this morning. I didn't think I had many
No need to thank me.
I've been, too embarrassed to admit it, but, so kind to everyone. But never lets her old man off the hook. Unless my wife and I are having a fight, then she's always on my side. Especially when she was little. Every time I took her out... All right, easy now. How long?
I don't...
Are you taking anything?
Yeah. I'll be...
I see. That...
We should probably discuss arrangements for tonight. Now that the deceased has... However, out of an abundance of caution, I'll keep...
Shouldn't we take shifts?
No need. I managed to get a nap in earlier, so I have plenty of energy right now.
What a long day. This whole situation turned out to be way more complicated than I expected. But Valeri's right. I should just try to calm down and get some rest.
He's awake. He's awake! Get over here, you big lug, and take a look.
If you must call me something, call me Mr. Door. The Black Mist is coming.
Are you all right? Can you... He just seemed to come out of nowhere. Not much of a talker, but when it comes to taking down monsters, that man doesn't hold back. Curses! The Black Mist is catching up to us. We need to keep going. Mr. Door, I don't believe I've ever seen you around here before. Why is that?
There's no need to try to get to know me. I'm just Mr. Door.
Mr. Door! Looking for trouble! Get rid of them!
I can just push these ones off.
Well, anyway, we're lucky to have you here. Thanks for saving us earlier.
No need to thank me. This is where my duty lies.
Storm! What the?
So we're doing this the hard way. You win this one.
Remarkable work, Mr. Door. If I had your muscles, I'd do the same. Are none of these doors the one you're looking for?
No.
Come no closer.
Condense! Storm!
By my command.
Oh, goodness!
Impossible. Impossible.
I'm so... Wait, look! There's more monsters down there. Are they coming from within the... No, no! They're gaining on us! Mr. Door, what are you doing? We need to get it...
Found it. This is my door.
What?
I am a door. This is where my duty lies.
No! You saved us! We can't leave you behind!
You must keep going. A door can only keep things out for so long. You must make haste.
But... Oh, you're right. The black mist isn't moving anymore. Looks like both... I didn't just Surely I wasn't so Oh, okay, good. There's no... getting sleepy? Well, looks like we're safe for now. Go ahead. Let's get...
What time is it? I guess everyone's still asleep? These... Valeri?
Wake up! Everyone!
Just like the last 2 nights. I've been a real thorn in your side, haven't I, Mr. Valeri? Now you can rest in peace. But for me, life will be all the duller for not having to run away from you, my friend.
How's Tony? I just checked on her, and it doesn't seem like anything serious.
That means Valeri was the only one who died last night.
If Valeri was awake and keeping watch, it would have been impossible to kill him without waking everyone else up.
This is so frustrating.
Actually, one thing has changed. There's only one victim this time, not 2.
After the deceased Shram left, it's a reasonable conclusion. The number of people who die each night is equivalent to the number of dead among us. That's your theory, right?
Exactly. We identified Mr. Shram, and the night after he left, the death toll dropped from 2 to 1. By that logic, there must be one more dead...
Another one?
Having an extra person was definitely a cause for alarm.
One more dead person among us. If Mitya's theory is right, it's just, at the time...
I'm sorry. This is my fault.
I'm partly to blame as well. I was too quick to dismiss Odette's concerns.
What is this about?
Sounds like there's some big news you've been keeping from the rest of us. I'm the dead person? Wow. That's certainly news to me.
Odette and I talked about it yesterday, but we thought it just wasn't possible, so we left it at that.
Yeah, I don't blame you. If I'd been there, I probably would have reached the same conclusion. It just sounds too unbelievable. Let me just try and verify this. I just scoured my memories, but I honestly have no recollection of dying. That's where I'm different than Mr. Schramm.
Having seen Mr. Mitya a few days ago myself, I also find it—
Well, if it isn't Mitya, then who? Do we—
If you don't mind me asking, Traveler, I believe you mentioned that you know Tonya's brother. Had you ever met her before?
No, never.
Now just 1 minute. I know where this is going. You're in the hot seat, and all of a sudden you want to—
Trying to pick a fight, Mr. Chuganov? Whenever you open your mouth, all you do is attack people, and I've had enough of it. If you don't want to engage in a civil discussion, you can shut up.
You!
Did Mitya ask about Tonya because he suspects her? I suppose I only identified her by age, and nothing.
I'm just saying, you're going around casting suspicion on people for no reason. How could Tonya be dead? I can vouch for her if nothing else. I've seen her before. She's the sister of that—
Oh, really? You're telling the truth?
Since being here, I don't think I ever mentioned she was Child's sister specifically.
If Chuganov can vouch for her, then it can't be Tonya either. In which case, it seems unlikely. Miss Odette, could you go over that afternoon with me one more time?
No problem.
No matter how hard I try, I just can't remember anything about dying. But I do remember some— Miss Vojanitsa, during our last meal together, I told you how some of the researchers were suffering from temporary memory loss. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah. You said it was hindering the progress of your experiment.
Right. And even though I don't remember dying that day, I'm pretty sure I experienced something like amnesia. Some of my memories from that afternoon are missing.
Are you suggesting you're missing the memory?
Of course. How am I only just realizing this? Humans aren't necessarily aware of their own death.
You mean being silently assassinated, or dying in your sleep?
The researcher's amnesia. I must thank you, Odette. I think your perspective just helped me All right.
Oh, leave! Hey, wait a minute!
Come on, kid. Aren't you gonna fight for your life?
I have other reasons beyond what's been discussed. In fact, I remember during Miss Odette's performance, while I was sitting in the audience stalls, a brilliant new idea for my research popped into my mind. I can't remember it now at all, and I didn't take any notes. I guess that must be another instance of temporary amnesia.
No. Hold on. I see where you're going with— There's a glaringly obvious flaw in that idea, no? How can one—
I believe Miss Odette's account. During the period where my memory is blank, I must have been either dead or in a similar state. All it would take is for the same thing to happen in the theater, and I would come under the effect of the ley lines in this vicinity. This increases the likelihood of me being the deceased, does it not?
But—
There's no evidence to suggest that anyone other than me is a candidate for the deceased. So allow me, as a scientist, to treat this as an experiment. Please relax, everyone. I don't think things are as bad as they may seem. If I really am the deceased, then to leave the theater will be a relief for me. If, on the other hand, I'm still alive right now, well, apparently you've all witnessed my resurrection recently anyway. Who's to say I won't return from the dead again this time?
Mitya's right. This is the only thing we can try.
What is a scientist if not someone who gambles on experiment after experiment in an attempt to obtain with this snowstorm, the ley line phenomenon, ghosts of the dead, and my amnesia, we've been paralyzed by not knowing and powerless to do. But if I do get resurrected, you can be sure that I'll come back with the truth of all this. Just you wait.
Poor Mr. Mitya. Maybe it's a good thing that you weren't there to see it. It was a hard thing. I hate— Maybe it's the realization that, come to think of it, the main reason we're still alive right now is pure luck. Each morning here, for everyone, you could take it a step further and say that the same is true outside too. If I make it out of here, I'm going to cherish every moment that I'm awake and live without any regret.
Without regret, I feel like a strange sense of anxiety.
Are you okay? If something's bugging you,
I have a travel companion named Paimon. Alosha and Odette have met her.
You're worried about her, aren't?
To be honest, I used to feel like I was just a spectator in this world, watching everything that happens from the sidelines. But with Paimon by my side, over time, I slowly felt she loves eating, sleeping. Over the last few days that we've been apart, I've often caught myself wondering, what would Paimon say if she were here right now? But by the time I snap out of it, the conversation has already moved on, and I'm still in my own little world. I'm trying to overcome this sense of detachment, but...
I bet she misses... I don't know if this will make you feel any better, but back when the water imps left, I could be surrounded, but later on I started to think, all we can do, so...
Thank you.
But Voryonitsa... That's just the choice I made. I used to regret, like I said before, singing is a water... Our songs have Ekbet, does a store, so I made the choice. Could you teach? I've never heard that one before. I feel like I can hear... Color me impressed, Tonya. You're keen. Most people can only tell if a song is happy or sad. I've actually never performed. It means something like, may those we have lost watch over us, and follow this song back home in the night. No wonder I could hear that. It's getting late, Tonya. Okay, of course.
Once I get out of here. But I guess that means I'll never get to hear Vote before I fall asleep. I should... Where... It's so dark in here. Huh? What was...
Return, O spirits. Fulfill your oath of protection. No time for questions. Quick, over here. All right, we're safe. The spirit just now is called Night Prayer. The light subdues her, but she'll attack without a second thought in the dark. Sort of. I know it's hard, but you can't let this place go dark. Yup. Luckily, I was here to resurrect you. Otherwise, that'd have been a real bummer.
A bit more than a bummer, I'd say.
Sure I do. I'm your guardian spirit after all. I specialize in soul recall. Oh, it's nice to meet you, but...
Thanks.
Alright, there's no time to waste. We need to reach the next switch before the place gets too dark. If we bring the light back, Night Prayer won't be able to...